that I've got outside with my ombre of chambray.
Which looks fabulous in the sunshine.
It does, it suddenly looks...
It does summery.
Yeah.
Really nice.
You know it's been Josh's birthday when the bunting goes up.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Puts a new meaning to putting the flags out.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I had to make it very, very quickly because I couldn't find my bunting, and then I realised I'd lent it to somebody else and it hadn't come back. I was like, but it's Josh's birthday. Get all the bunting done. Good morning to you. Welcome to Natasha Makes. It is Textile Tuesday. This is Jane Alcock.
Morning.
Morning. Jane, today is a technique-driven show.
Yes.
I don't know. I need to give you hand things
Signal.
for that, but yeah.
Yes. It's a very simple make today, but we're going to talk to you about colour. Because we love colour.
We do. We get many, many emails from you saying, can you please match this colour? Can you please match this? Which we are delighted to do.
We love doing it.
Always, because very early on in our journey, we realised that matching, especially through lockdown, matching colour was so impossible on a screen.
It is, because everybody's screen shows it slightly differently.
And also
don't
what
they?
colour boxes have been used with the photography, if it's
Yeah.
been filtered, blah, 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 blah. So many reasons why it's just impossible to do. So that's why we had the half metre heavens for so long.
Yes. Yeah.
Because it just meant that you could have your beautiful, beautiful fabrics and then your
Nice
plain
that
that would
made it
coordinate.
look fabulous.
Now there is a thing
There's a guide.
which is called the Colour and Tone Guide.
Yes.
And we're going to show you how to use this. So if you're one of these people that email us saying, can you match this please? Because, and I'm going to quote, I'm not very good with colour. How often do we hear that, Jane?
I hear that all the time. And I'm like, but you look lovely. You've got dressed. Your colours are beautiful. And they look at me like, what? And I'm like, yes, but you put colours together
Yeah.
to get dressed, don't you?
Yeah. Exactly
Yes.
that. Exactly that. And some days you might put something on and go, oh, that really works. But you don't know why. We're going to show you why that's a thing.
Yeah.
The other thing that we are going to show you today is beautiful brand new Liberty. Can I just say, Jane, have you looked at our prices on the Liberty?
No, I never look at the prices. I just go, I like that. Can I have some?
Someone said, oh, I've seen this elsewhere. Well, you might, but you'll also have paid more elsewhere.
Ooh.
That's what I'm going to say. That's all.
You're doing your fabulous deals again.
I just think that I know everyone's a bit... So where we can
Yes.
help, we will.
Where we
And
will.
also our bundles, that's where your best value is always at. But talking of ways in which we can help, if you place an order with us over £30 today, free P&P.
What?
We've never done it.
No.
It's normally orders over 150, but today free P&P for orders over £30.
That's fabulous. Ooh, that's worth topping your basket up for, isn't it?
Well, do you know what? If you're buying with us today anyway,
I always do that. If they offer free P&P on it, it's like, wow.
it's what you're
Be
saving,
rude not
isn't
to.
it? Because the thing is, you know,
I
the
might spend more than I
P&P,
wanted to, but
we
got
do
free
have a
postage.
blanket rate on our P&P.
Yes.
Because people go, well, it didn't cost me that in postage. No, but look at all of the stuff that we've wrapped it in, the time it's taken to cut it, to process it, to do like it has
Yeah.
a time implication, it has a cost implication. Often it costs more
Yeah.
than what we charge you for the
It does,
postage.
Yeah.
It's certainly never anything that we make any money on, and it certainly won't be today, because if you are placing an order over £30, you will get that for freebies. Jane, beautiful new Liberty fabrics.
Gorgeous fabrics.
I'm going to show. I'm going to go straight on a close up, Jane. Can you just show these, please, on a close up? I've gone for two different colourways here today. Oh, there's my hair. Let me just step out the way.
This is so pretty. Look at that. Gorgeous, beautiful blue tones.
It's blues and hazy pinks.
This is Tudor Celebration, and this one's called Quilt Nouveau. Isn't
It
that
does have a
pretty?
nouveau feel to
Yes,
it, doesn't it?
does. Lovely blues. And then we've got the haberdashery floral. Why is it called haberdashery
I
floral, I
adore
hear
this.
you ask? It's got threads and scissors hidden away inside there.
Jane,
Can
if
see
you
them?
don't make our hexy needle keep and our scissor keep with this,
Bobbins there, look.
are you even a sewer?
Well, this is it. It's calling out, isn't it, for your work bag?
Well,
thimbleware.
also, we still have a 3 for 2 on patterns today.
It's pincushion here, look. It's pincushion.
So you could well get your scissor keep, You could get your hexie needle key and something else.
So you did a tidy thing, didn't you, as well for your work?
We did
All sorts of things. And we've tucked in a nice little plane in here, look.
We did.
This is our candy blue. Look how that looks with those. Isn't that beautiful? That's gorgeous.
And again, this was a thing where Jane and I were like, this blue, which blue does it need to be?
Yeah, if you're not a blue person, what's wrong with
That's
you?
all right, because we've got pinks. I'm just saying out of the way of
Yeah.
the camera, lurking in the background. Who's that lady lurking, Jane?
We've got these beautiful pinks, look. And we've put that, it's the same fabrics, but in a pink colourway.
Oh, it is with azalea.
And we've put it with our azalea, which just pops this lovely flower here. It's just gorgeous. But it doesn't look wrong with the candy blue, because then that pops the blue flowers.
No,
So
Jane?
why not buy all 6? That's what I'm saying to you. You got a free P&P today. Why not?
On orders over 30.
Yes.
There you go.
Now this is Snowdrop Spot, and we put it with ivory.
This is a tonal thing, isn't it? We looked
Yes.
at it and went,
Because
what works best
we looked
tonally?
at a pinky tone with it, didn't we? And it flattened it.
Yeah.
This lifts it. The ivory lifts it.
Now,
It's very subtle, very soft. It's called Blush Pink, the colourway, and it's got that muted grey, soft vintage feel to it. It's beautiful.
but if you pop it with, because what it actually works very well with,
It's the same tones, isn't it?
yeah. There's somebody at the door, Jane. I'm going to leave you just showing those and the
Lovely.
Emily bells while I just try and get whoever it is that's at the door.
And we've also got a half-metre trio of the Emily Bells. All of these fabrics you can get by the half metre on their own. So if you think, well, actually I want more of this, we can do that as well. You've got the marine blue, which is a lovely bright but soft blue. That doesn't make sense, but it is. It's like a cornflower blue. And we've got our mauve, which is a lovely soft muted lilac-y colour. And then we've got powder rose, which is a lovely vintage pink colour, nice and pretty. Again, these all go very well with the it's Tudor Celebration, this range, this one with the haberdashery and the quilts nouveau, so that's a really lovely colourway. We've also got a fabric which we're going to do a perfect pairings with this tomorrow. But this is a beautiful one. This will make lovely cushions because this is almost like a cheats panel. Look at that, isn't that fun? It's almost log cabin but not quite. You could have fun fussy cutting that. You could have fun if you EPP. You could pick out patterns and strips. You could pick out borders and things from there. You could really make that the centre of your quilt and then have your Emily Bells rather. Well, the Emily Blossoms, the extra wides would look lovely with these as well. Look, they look gorgeous with that. They really do. Lovely mustard tones. The one that we had yesterday looks nice with this as well. This pretty one. The yellow.
Yeah, that works, doesn't it?
That looks really nice with that one too. So yeah, there's some gorgeous colours.
There's some goodies to be had, aren't there, for sure?
Yes.
I love this. Part of me wants to just back a quilt with it, but then
That would look lovely. It would also just make a really quick quilt. Get a metre of it, put a backing on it, quilt it, follow the lines.
what about a strip of denim and having that as a bag?
Yeah.
Denim-based bag would be gorgeous.
Denim always looks fabulous with Liberty fabric,
Why
doesn't
is
it?
that?
I don't know what it is. I don't know what. I think it's their
Why
colour
is that?
palette or what.
Don't
I
know.
do love it with denim.
That is the way of it. That is the way of it.
I'm just saying that all of these are available as half meat cut to order, aren't they? So,
Oh, for sure, yeah, absolutely.
and we haven't cut the trio, so if you order 2, you'll get them in continuous pieces. We'll do that for you.
We will do that very thing. I just
They're just pretty. They're so pretty. They're
So
just
pretty.
calling out for workshop things, aren't they? I'm going to demo my cushion in this because it's just it gives it another
That wasn't what we planned, Jane.
another
That wasn't
colour
what we planned.
tone, I think.
Can
to
I tell you
show.
what I gave Jane to demo in today? And she's just completely gone rogue. I gave her this, which was yesterday's sweet pea, and that because you've got your tonal pinks there, and then you've got that lighter one coming in.
That's so pretty.
So that would also work
Yes, it would.
beautifully. But Jane's not doing
I've
that.
gone rogue.
Do you want a hand lifting fabrics up and down, or should I just go and get out of the way?
Shall we just talk about? Shall we talk about the colour wheel? Shall we do that? Shall I take this out of here?
Yeah, you can do. Do you know what else, Jane?
These are great. These are the So Easy colour and tone guides.
Before you do that,
those.
I know. When we got that, I said, do you know what, we've got another couple of these left. You get a free book. You get Jenny Raymond's Fans and Fabrications for free with this. But if you wanted a rainbow of fabrics, they're there. And look how they instantly sit on that colour wheel.
Yeah, this is brilliant.
But then equally, if you wanted an ombre of
Yes.
pinks, then that is the ombre heart. It was actually to make that, but you don't have to. That's how the colours look together.
Yeah. We did a technique ribbon, ribbon weaving. This was
beautiful.
from the calendar quilt block. This is block 2, February's block. But we've done cushion covers with it as well. And this is the kit we put together to make the cushion. So you've got enough to do the back of your cushion.
I just bring this one out. I've got 2 of these left, Jane, and that's it. These are the 6 fat quarters.
Oh, the lovely blues with the denim. Nice.
And it was just when we saw that that Liberty with the denim, I was like, actually, we do need to see. And I've got a funny story about this, Jane.
Oh, nice.
You know, I have my journal that I odor coated and covered in this.
Yes.
And then I have my pen. In fact, I didn't have it on the show because I'd been planning designs with it in bed.
Yes.
So it was next to my bed. So this morning, last night again, I was working again, planning tomorrow's make, and I'd written. Oh, there's another one hiding there. So last night I'd written out all the instructions and I'd written out all of the measurements for tomorrow's make.
Yeah.
Perfect. Anyway, put it all together, and then this morning I was putting some washing in the washing machine, had it in my hand, thrown my whole lot in the washing machine.
Oh no.
Error message on the washing machine.
Oh gosh.
So obviously I've flooded the utility room and bunging everything, going, what is this? Cursing every child and person that I know, for obviously leaving a tissue or something.
Yes.
It's not a tissue, Jane.
It's your journal.
It's my entire journal
with all your
in the
designs
course
in.
of one wash has disintegrated everywhere, bunged up my washing machine, now flooded my utility room.
Oh my goodness.
So I've done the only thing that a sane person could do. I've just put it on a longer wash just to get rid of the rest of it. We'll see how that goes. Bear with me for more housekeeping tips. Gemma said you are the worst at housework.
Well, that's a bit mean.
She said last week it was the Roomba robot.
Yeah, but that wasn't. I mean, you hadn't planned. That wasn't. Well, you
The
can't.
Great Dane had an upset tummy. That's all I'm
Yes.
going to say. And then the Roomba, because it comes on. It's automated, so it comes on in the morning. So I come down to a nice clean kitchen. Usually, in this instance, it was hell.
Yeah.
I came down to hell, and 3 bottles of disinfectant later, and an hour of scrubbing.
God.
So yeah, I've got form. Jane, I just keep looking at this next to this. So that was how my morning went. Look at that with that.
It's lovely.
It's got all the colours, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Right, whilst you get ready, Jane, I'm going to say hello to everybody on Facebook
Hi.
who has joined us today.
I think these are Macau fabrics as well, aren't they? Aren't they the
Yeah,
Macau
they're not on
spectrum? They're not
normal
on our planes.
We don't have them anymore.
No. It's all gone.
Chris is here, Jan's here. Jan just says, free P&P if you spend £30 today and New Liberty.
The cunning plan.
But it has to be on orders over £30. Karen wishes that she could so clothes, that patchwork would make a fabulous dress. Yes,
Wouldn't it?
in fact, do
One
you
of
know,
those jackets. Because they're the
yes.
trend at the moment, isn't it, to have the patchwork jackets?
But the other thing is, I was a cloth kits kid.
Oh yes, and me. I had a beautiful dresses from Cloth Kits.
Cloth kits, because I was brought up in Sussex, and Cloth Kits was on the hill,
Oh wow.
and there was the actual shop there. And so every Saturday when I went for my piano and my singing lessons, I used to go in a Cloth Kits dress. Mrs. Hazel always loved my dresses. Anyway, I'm going to go and sit down with my coffee and let
Lovely.
you do this.
Let's do this. Now,
Let's do it.
I'm pretty sure that most of you know what a primary colour is. I'm fairly confident that you all know what primary colours are.
Let's assume
Let's make an assumption.
no knowledge.
I am not trying to teach you anything that you don't know, but if you don't know, maybe I will.
But Jane, if you missed that day at school,
Yeah.
you missed that day at school.
Primary colours are the three colours that can't be mixed, if I remember rightly from school. They are the colours. Boom. That's it.
You can't make
Them.
That's the thing with the primary colour. They
Yeah.
are all other colours are made from them,
these
but
colours.
you cannot make those three colours. How anyone discovered that? I have no idea. But
It's
there they
something to do with the spectrum, isn't it? The colour spectrum, prisms and all that. You've got blue, red and yellow. They're the primary colours. These are the three colours, aren't they? Was it green that go on your, that used to be the dots on your television screen to make up the picture?
Yes. And from there,
From primary colours, when you mix primary colours together, you get what's called a secondary colour. So when you mix red and yellow together, you get orange. And when you mix red and blue together, you get purple. And when you mix blue and yellow together, you get green. So then that's your rainbow, isn't it, really?
Jane, I've never seen that more beautifully demonstrated.
Yeah.
Well done.
You think I'd done it before?
And actually, non-metally done because, you know, let's be honest, kids do it with paint, don't they?
You do.
Yeah.
And there's your rainbow. Boom. Now, when you come to do, you've got tertiary colours as well, which tend to be ones that sit in between. So like between your green and your blue, you'll have turquoise. I've got our jade here. And you get tones of the colours as they go.
That looks fabulous.
And then between the red and the purple, you'll get like the magenta type colours, you know, like a slightly brighter. That's not showing. There. So they're like a tertiary colour. So they're a shade that when you mix your primary and your secondary colour together, you get that. Then you might be looking at those and you're like, well, they're very bright, Jane. I'm not sure about the brightness of those. So we can look at tones then, can't we? So tonal colours are your primary colours, but they're either add a little bit of darkness, like black or grey to them, or you can lighten them by adding white. And the degree of white that you then add to them determines whether they are muted. To the muted, you've got your red, yellow, red and green, red and blue there. Muted colours. This is our navy, our claret, and our gold. Gold.
Gold, gold, gold.
So you've got your muted tones there. And again, with your secondary colours, you get muted tones of those. So by mixing our yellow and blue, we get the green. Let's put that down there. The red and yellow, we've got our terracotta there. No, this isn't terracotta, this is paprika. Yeah, that's paprika, but we have got terracotta, which is a darker tone. And then by mixing the blue, we've got our lovely, this one is just purple, but that's a deeper tone of purple. And again, those muted tones all look beautiful together, don't they?
Yes.
Again, they're just the colours of the rainbow, but we've taken, basically, when they printed them or mixed the colour, they'll have added a bit more black to the colour.
And so you get that tone.
And this is like autumnal, warm.
Yeah.
And this, again, tones give a feeling. So like these ones, they're muted, they're rich, they're warm tones, if you like. But we can go pastel, we can add more white to our colours. Our three primary colours, we've got our red, our yellow and our blue. So this one is our lemon. This one is magically named pink. And this is our powder blue. So these are our pastels. And all we'll have done in the printing process is they will have diluted the dyes. Obviously they don't add white, but they dilute them so that they're very light coloured. And again, you get your secondary colours. Your blue and your lemon give you this lovely mint. This is our ice cream, this one.
You scream, I scream, we all scream for ice cream.
And then you get your lovely lilac colour, and this is our light lilac when you mix the blue and the pink. And then you get this lovely peachy colour when you mix your pink and your lemon. So you've got your beautiful spectrum of pastels there. And again, these are cool colours. They give you a cool feel, don't they?
We should have put these together as bundles, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Maybe
Well,
Friday
maybe
deals we will. Yeah.
Fridays. But this is your cool spectrum. And I've brought the brown in because if you mix green and red together, you get your brown tones. I've brought biscuit in here because you can see that works with the pastels. But we've got tan, which is a lighter tone. We've got all of those creamy tones. We've got cream and ivory and all of those tones.
So when you ask us, can you find us a colour to go with this fabric or that fabric?
We can pretty much do it.
Because we've got about 100, haven't we, different planes.
Yeah.
So we can generally find you tonally the correct one, or if it's just finding that little pop of colour that's going to complement whatever it is, we can generally find it.
But this colour wheel works in such a way that you can put your colour wheel on your fabric. So let's put it on the green here. This is our green colour. This is D on here. We turn our arrow to there. We get the two colours that would work with it. So we've got the magenta colour because again we're looking at the D. It follows it round, so you've got it. They've put more of the crimsony colour on that one. And then on this A side, the D one is more of a red. This probably is too bright, this red. But they're saying here, these are the tones that will go with that green. You can go directly opposite, which is that colour there. You can go in a tetra one, so you get the purple tone and you get the orange tone. So like that and like that. But what you do is you find the colour that matches the nearest to the fabric that you've chosen, which as I say is D on here, and you just look at the Ds in the colour wheel and they're the tones that go with that tone of fabric. Now you could also do what they call complementary colours, and they are either side. So you can go with your gold colour, and it's slightly darker. It's more like our the word's gone out of my head. Our deeper colour, not
Baltic.
teal, Baltic. It's more the Baltic tone, but those tones there, they work nicely. So your colour wheel really helps you. You've also got in here what looks like a little piece of red plastic, and I'm not going to destroy that, but it's clear perspex, and it shows through. Sometimes when you're working with fabric, it won't show on the camera, I don't think, it takes the colour out, so it looks like black and white underneath. So sometimes when you're working with patchwork particularly, you like to go for light, medium and dark tones, and that works. So what you can do is you can put your red square over your fabric and put it next to the other one, and you'll find which one works as a darker tone. Now with green and yellow it's pretty obvious that yellow is the lighter tone, but it does show through, and I think you can just about see it, that that's coming up as a darker tone to that one. But with the jade and the green, it's actually the jade that's a lighter tone than the green, which you might find a surprise. But it really does help when you're not sure. The other thing you can do is you can put your colours out and you can take a photograph of it and then change your photograph to black and white, and you'll see the colours, the tonal, how they work together that way as well. So I really recommend getting yourself a colour wheel. I've got a printout of a colour wheel on my wall in my workroom, which I find really useful sometimes when I'm trying to, particularly if I've got a patterned fabric, and I'm just going to, I just pulled out one of our very patterned fabrics. It's brightly patterned fabric, just to show you this one. This is one of the Sweet Sensations, was it? Or Sweet Somethings, I can't remember. The Carolyn Given one. And if we put the tonal, you won't be able to see it maybe, but it really does pick out the different tones in that. But we can look at this, and sometimes when we're looking at fabric, and Natasha and I do this a lot, and we'll pick a colour and we'll be like, oh, it's got to go with this. And looking at this, you might think, it needs to go with a nice bright pink, which I haven't brought in with me, because of the bright pink there. But sometimes you can put a pink against a fabric like this, because it looks predominantly pink, and it will flatten the fabric. Now if we bring the gold in, that really lifts it.
Oh yes.
But we've also got the there's a terracotta-y orange in there as well, which also looks fabulous with it. There's a blue in there. The blue looks lovely with it. Every time you put a different fabric against it, a different colour will be highlighted, and sometimes it's not even the colour that you think it is. When you put the blue against this, it's the yellow and the white that pops. When you put the terracotta against it, it's the blue and the pinks that pop. It's really clever how fabric works. And sometimes you'll put a colour against it and you think, this is going to look fabulous, and you put it against it and you go, oh, because it doesn't. The tones don't work. And this is what it is. Sometimes the tone will flatten the fabric.
And we have this a lot, don't we? And we
we
spend
play
a lot of time.
Yeah, we work it. We do work hard working on it.
The other thing to consider is our light in here. Now, we're a little bit thrown because we've got such bright daylight.
Yes.
But our light is full spectrum. We have full spectrum bulbs so that you get a true colour.
We try the best we can to get
if you
real white light.
If you work in a different coloured light or warm light or something like that, and you try and colour match at night, you will probably end up redoing that work in the morning because the colour will be off.
Yeah.
So we only colour match, and in our warehouse, every single bulb.
We have been known to take things outside as well and look at them in the bright daylight, particularly in the winter months.
But they are full spectrum colour bulbs, so that we get as close to daylight as we can.
Yeah. Now when you're thinking about a background fabric for your colours, sometimes you want the colours to really pop, in which case you might use a black or a white. Now I would use white with this fabric because there's white in it. And they're really quite dual colours, so they really make those colours stand out. But sometimes they're too heavy and they make the brightness of the colours disappear. So you might want to tone your dark. If you were thinking you wanted dark, this is our midnight, and that just softens it. It's not as heavy. I wouldn't use an ivory with this one because, as I said, it's got white in it, but you can think sometimes that white is too stark, so the ivory works, and it just softens the tone. And again, ivory might be too stark, in which case cream will work, because cream's got more of a yellow tone to it. We've got greys as well, but some of our greys have got a green tone, some have got a pink tone, some are bluey. When you think about grey, you just think it's a colour that's black and white mixed together, but actually there's so many. Again, grey is a tonal fabric that you really do have to look closely at when you're mixing it with other colours, because you could put a bluey toned grey with reds and pinks and it would look terrible, but if you put a pinky tone with it, it'll lift those colours. It's really interesting and it's quite good fun. And if you're able to go to a fabric shop and look at the colours like that, you can. But we'll always help you with choosing fabric, because we love to choose fabric.
It's one of our big joys.
So thank you for attending my TED talk. Can we make a cushion cover? This is such a straightforward pattern.
Oh, Julie said, could you please show the book with the fabric? It's the Fans and Fabrications book, Jenny Raymond.
Oh, the Jenny Raymond.
Yeah. I mean, you're getting the book for free, you're just buying the fabric.
Fans and Fabrications with Jenny. Jenny's brilliant because she does a lot of fabric manipulation, so you get some really.
And so this is
really
where having
lovely
that colour wheel would work so well.
Yes.
Because you would be able to not only just use your planes, but also have the ones that would make the most impact.
And these sort of things are really good with having either tonal fabrics or contrasting fabrics, like this one here. Jenny's used purple and jade, so they're like opposites on the colour wheel. Really good. You've got your three sections. You've got your blues and greens, your yellows and reds, and your purples and blues. And so you can use colours from the opposite sides. They work really well as well. And don't clash, because I think sometimes people worry that the colours will clash. And actually, Tula Pink's made a living out of clashing colours, hasn't she?
As has Kate.
Yeah, and Cave. You know, they're really good with their colours, and it's not about the clashiness, it's about the tonal, isn't it? Because once the tones are right, it doesn't clash. It looks bright and vibrant and vivid, which is what you want.
And when you're doing I remember, I think it was Tilly Rose saying to me, look in the garden, the colours don't all necessarily go, but the overall effect is beautiful. And you wouldn't go, oh my goodness, that forget-me-not is the wrong blue.
No.
You just, like, you wouldn't, oh, I should have planted a cornflower blue there. It's like, no, it's just...
Yeah, it just works.
It just works.
And nature will have picked the right tone of green to go with that flower. If you look, all the different tones of green against the different flower colours, which is amazing.
It is so
just
clever.
Amazing, very clever.
Right, I'm going to reiterate again, 2 offers on today. Postage free on shopping baskets over £30. And we also have a 3 for 2 on our patterns.
Oh, is that still going?
I think so.
I thought that was 24 hours.
I think it's still on.
Has it been left on? Has it been left on? Quick, get it in your basket while it's still there. I was going to say something else about colour. Oh, well, I know what I was going to say. The other thing I'm going to tell you about colour, if you like it together, sew with it. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. If it's for you and you love it, do it.
Do you know what I say this? If it brings you joy,
exactly, that's what it's about.
Pleasing. Yeah. It's for you.
Exactly.
It is absolutely for you. And if you're really lucky, then you can find a partner like I have that goes, I don't really understand colour, I'll leave it to you. Thanks! We will henceforth have all the colour.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
I love it when I go to classes and things and we all look at what each other have made, and I will hear people say, oh, don't those colours look lovely together? I wouldn't have thought of putting those two together. And it is that, because we all see colour slightly differently.
I would love to have 24 hours seeing as Cave does. He's so turned on to colour
Yes.
that he will even be on the underground and see two people sat next to each other on a bench and go like, oh, those t-shirts were beautiful. Like, he just sees it.
Yes.
He sees it in graffiti. He sees it on plants growing through the cracks in the pavement. He sees it everywhere.
It's
I mean,
an
when
artist's eye, isn't
yeah,
it?
and when he went to India, it must have been a massive colour overload.
Yeah. We were like that in Sri Lanka. I was just like, so vibrant, it's wonderful. Yeah, it is. And again, it's like when you're in the Mediterranean, isn't it? And the blues and the Mediterranean blue and the sky and the sea and all that turquoise.
It just sparkles. It's gorgeous.
And you bring it home, and because our light is different light, so it doesn't look the same. It's the brightness and the different tones of light that add to the colour as well. Right, Prairie points.
I'm quite excited to see this. It's such a muted pink. This one.
It's so pretty.
Very pretty.
Very pretty.
And will go, by the way, beautifully with your patchwork scarves.
Yeah.
If you wanted one colour, one bundle to go with it, then you've got a very soft ivory here, and these, and it would be right nice. I think that is.
Is that the technical term?
Yeah, right nice.
So, we're making units like this that we then sew together to make that band of the strip that goes into the cushion pad. It's a very straightforward, simple cushion. We're just talking about the technique, and we wanted to talk to you about colour today. So we've used this technique show to sort of bring all of that together. When I did the cushion behind me, we've gone with the amethyst and buttercup is the colours that are used in this one. 2 half metres, a half metre of each makes 2 cushions. So you can cut both half metres the same and then intermix them.
And again, when we pick those colours, we didn't do it with the colour wheel because
no, and I'm going to show this.
We've done it a bit with colour, but Jane has absolutely picked the right colours for this.
This one, this lilac colour, this is our lavender. Now lavender has got grey, more of a grey tone to it, and when you put it with the buttercup, it flattens it. So when we I pulled the amethyst out, and that brightens it because amethyst has got blue tones to it.
And blue and yellow are
opposites on the colour wheel. So a very subtle difference, and when you put lavender and amethyst together, there's hardly any difference between those two. Now, if I put lavender with our lemon, which is a lighter shade, it looks fabulous.
Oh, doesn't it?
Because it's a lighter shade. It doesn't look so good with the amethyst. Makes the amethyst look quite grey and dull. And that's how colour works.
Fancy Lizzie's just joined us. She would have loved all of this. I hope she's not too late.
It's just a subtle difference, but it makes all the difference.
It really does. Cynthia's here. Blodwin's here. Good morning, Natasha. Jack.
So there is a reason why we choose colours. Is one of the things I was going to say as well. There's a reason for it.
It's such a valuable show today in terms of learning. Just if you save this one, watch it back. It will be on YouTube. And if you buy Jane's Prairie points, then you'll always have the date written in
On
the
pattern,
anyway.
yeah.
I think the pattern is available digitally as well.
Yes, I think it's all up
I think
and
that's
go.
already up and done.
Right.
Well done, that Jen.
Shall we make prairie points?
Go on then.
Prairie points
Are they
are...
tricky or not?
No, they're very simple. They're a lovely way of creating texture and definition in a simple way. I've seen prairie points used in all different ways, and I'm going to show you another variation when I finish doing this demo. You can tuck prairie points into the edge of your quilt to give a different edging. They're just like little triangles that stick out.
Yes.
A bit of texture. It's really pretty. Edges of cushions, all sorts of things within a seam. Of
Just
your,
a bag. Could you imagine having a two-tone bag with a strip of that through it?
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
the thing about Prairie points is they're triangles. So whatever you do with a triangle, you can do with a Prairie point because it works in the same way. It's just a 3D element of fabric within your project. So you could tuck it into the seam of a pocket or something like that. Do you know, it's just, it adds a little bit of fun to your project, really.
Bit of zhuzh.
Yeah. You start off with a square. You fold that square into a triangle by folding it in half across the diagonal, and you give it a press. Obviously, you press rather than it because you don't want to stretch it. And then you fold it again to create a smaller triangle, and you press it.
Jane, how much are you enjoying your new iron? Because you bought one of those.
I love it, it's so cute.
We've got some of the hot pink ones of those left.
Oh, lovely. So that's your Prairie point. So you have a folded edge and you have an open folded edge. The raw edge with the 4 open raw cut edges go into a seam somewhere, whatever you want to do with that. So it's very straightforward. You fold your square in half along the diagonal. You can press it, finger press it. You don't have to do it with your iron. If you finger press it, you get more texture, and you fold it in half again. It's so straightforward. Now we've attached them to opposite sides of the square for the border piece that I put in my cushion, and that again just tacked them to the edge. So I lengthened my stitch and sewed them either side of the square. You might need to just manipulate them slightly because really you'd like to have the points matching in the middle. It looks like a quarter square triangle when we do it like this. You could put, and I saw a quilt show. I saw a fabulous quilt, and it was done with Prairie points, and they'd done like an I Spy quilt, and they'd cut fabrics with a thing underneath, like, I don't know, let's say a dog on there, and they'd put 4 Prairie points over, so it covered the square, and then the child could lift them to find the... It was such a lovely, fun project. Can you imagine a cushion there? Lovely.
I'm laughing because I remember once being sent fabric to do a show and create craft that I found absolutely hideous, and I did anything to hide this fabric. And it's like open up a bag and there was this. It was. Do you remember it was those scary cats?
Oh, on the bicycles.
And they absolutely terrified me.
Yes.
And of course I'd been sent it, and I was working on behalf of the supplier. So I had to incorporate it. That's what I should have done, Jane.
Yes.
I should have hidden it.
In a I Spy quilt.
And done a I Spy quilt. That's brilliant. And if I ever had to do that again, that's what I would do.
So I'm just going to sort of about 1/8 of an inch away, just so that I'm sewing that down to my fabric, but it's within the seam allowance. You can of course pin it, make sure that it's all lined up, but you can do it by eye as well. So if you just making sure that the points are touching each other really for this particular make. So for the other colourway, you would have ivory as your background, and you would have the beautiful snowdrops as your Prairie points.
I'd quite like to do.
It would look really lovely.
Pillowcases.
Yes, because it's a nice.
And have them, and then you'd have opposites on either end.
Yeah, you'd have a lovely strip of fabric down the one side. So you make 5 squares. You can make more, but for this pattern we make 5. And then we're going to place them in the opposite direction. So they create, let me just move that to that side. So they create that pattern. Like so. and we're going to join those together. You could have them all facing this way if you wanted to, or all facing down.
Oh, so you have like a flying geese prairie, a
Yeah.
flying
I mean, if
prairie
you put them,
goose.
what you would do if you had them like that, you'd end up with like a square. You can lay them out as you wish. You would create that effect if you put them all that way. But I quite like having them turned in alternate directions.
I want to do this on a bag. I really want to do this on a bag.
I'm just looking at my fabric because this fabric is directional, so I made sure that I got them, all of my snowdrops facing the right way, I thought. Yes, that's it. There we go. So, you know me, I always say, don't I, sew them together in pairs and then sew the pairs together and then carry on from there. And of course, it can be made even quicker by chain piecing them. So
Yes.
even when you're tacking them onto the squares in the first instance, you can chain piece them, put them all down one side of the squares and then go down the next. It's quite bulky because you've got a lot of layers of fabric, so I would press it to the side that has the single layer of fabric rather than towards the triangles. It does tend to sit flatter that way.
Jane, you know how we wanted to do a show next week with the patchwork scarves?
Yes. Is it all gone?
I'm just going to see how much we've got.
There might not be any left.
I'm just looking at all the orders and it does look like
Well,
most
that's
have got it in.
fabulous. I'm not surprised, you know. Get it. If you've got free P&P as well, goodness me.
I've only got 5 metres left.
Well, that's not a project, is it?
That does not a show make, Jane.
No.
That does not a show make. Which means that if you want it, please grab it, because like I say, I've only got 5 metres left now. That's it, and that's it gone.
I'm just placing these back each time because, as I say, because the snowdrops is directional, I just want to make sure I've kept the direction of my fabric.
Oh, Auntie Lizzie says that she saw prairie points on the neckline of a dress last
Yeah.
night on an Agatha Christie movie.
Oh, lovely. That's beautiful.
I guess they would have been really tiny ones. wouldn't they?
Yes. Well, this is the beauty of prairie points. You can make them as big or as small as you like because you just start with a square.
Yeah.
So it's a good way of using up your scraps. Now, on mine, I took a needle and thread and I just put a little stitch in just to hold my points down. But once you've got them in your project, it's gone a bit wonky. Once you've got them in your project, they will lie flat. We've got some beautiful buttons.
These are going to go so beautifully with this.
These are like a silver
They've got
colour, but they're
silver
like
ends.
shell, aren't they?
They are shell in the middle, and they are silver edged, silver colour edged. I don't think it's like real silver.
So you could sew a button on, look, on the middle of the points if you so fancied. You could do it on just a couple of them, or you could do it on all of them.
With
You
that,
could put a little bead on.
with
you
that
could have so much
tone,
fun.
Jane, they would look
They look
beautiful.
gorgeous with this
Yeah.
fabric. Little packs of 3, aren't they, these?
Yeah.
They're beautiful. You could even put them on upside down, which isn't upside down, but you've got the shell effect there,
Yeah,
which is
it's mother
really
of pearl
pretty,
type,
like a
isn't it?
mother of pearly, yeah. They're beautiful. So you're going to have a narrow strip and a wider strip of your fabric. Instructions give you the cutting instructions. You're going to attach those to each side. So I'm going to attach this one to that side Just go slowly over the seams because it is quite bulky. And if you want to put your walking foot on, it might be a good idea because you're going through quite a lot of layers of fabric.
4.5 metres left, Jane.
Oh. I bet somebody's going to make a quilted jacket with it.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
I hope they are. It'll be look fabulous. And press the fabrics so that the seam falls underneath your pieces rather than the strip. Again, because it'll lie flatter because you've got quite a lot of bulk with the Prairie points. And then we can stitch the opposite side onto there. Now, of course, you can change the size of your pieces. You might want to have the strip running down the middle of your cushion, in which case you'd make equal sized pieces. You might want to make it more like a pillow, so you'd have a longer piece. The size that we've given you for this one, you will get out of 2.5 metres. If you wanted it bigger, you'd have to get more fabric. And that's your cushion front.
Oh, hang on, well, it will be, Jane, when I manage to change
got my
the
back.
view. That is Jane's back. But that is your cushion
That's
front.
your cushion front.
Hooray!
Yay.
Well done, that, Jane. I've loved today's show, Jane. I feel like I've learned.
Yeah. And then we've got the two pieces. We've hemmed. This is the most simple cushion you can make. You've got your cushion front. We've got our two back pieces. We've hemmed, folded it over 1/4 inch and again hemmed it. And what you'll do is you'll place that right sides down with the hem side in the middle. Line those pieces up, pin them in place, and you sew all the way around, and then you pull your cushion through.
Do you know what, Jane? I did for my Create and Craft audition.
Yeah.
I had to do.
Just pin this on and we'll sew it.
I had to do a sewing demonstration.
Yes.
Bearing in mind, I wasn't a great sewer back then. I'd never presented, didn't have a clue what I was doing. So the idea of sewing and talking and doing was just terrifying to me. I did an envelope back cushion. Yeah, I did an envelope back cushion, and they all looked at me and went,
What is this witchcraft?
"Is it's that easy?" I went,
Pretty much,
yeah. No, well, why haven't we ever done it? I'm like, oh, I don't know, but it is indeed that easy. And just that moment where, and I thought I hadn't got the job because I'd done the easiest demo known to me.
Yeah.
But they're like, why don't we do this? I don't know. Oh, Derbyshire Dye says, I want pantaloons in that Liberty. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yoga pantaloons.
Oh, how fabulous.
Yes, please. Oh, yes. I've got a pair of like yoga pantaloons, and I love them. You know when Philip Jacobs goes wandering through the woods with his lovely girlfriend Helen?
Yes.
Girlfriend. That sounds his partner.
Somebody was talking about this the other day. They were like, what do you call your friend that is a romantic friend?
Yes.
When you're older. This lady was in her 50s and she said, I've got a boyfriend, but she said that sounds like the wrong term.
Well, Josh and I had this conversation the other night, and I said, could we just not get married because it would be a lot easier, and then I can just call you, my husband rather than boyfriend. And he's like, but I like being a boyfriend. I said, no, you like being a toy boy. That's what you like being. But for the next couple of months until it's my birthday, we're the same age. So he's only part toy boy some of the time. But yeah, and I'm not going to ever introduce him as, hello, this is my boyfriend. Yeah, this partner in crime, life partner.
Life partner.
Oh, I don't know, it gets complicated, doesn't it? But apparently getting managers to make it sound better is not the one.
Not a thing, no,
No.
okay.
Also, not to get the tax benefits, that is also not a romantic reason. Although, has been done by friends of ours, he's an accountant.
I know what he's doing.
Here you go! Oh, there's the romance.
Oh, I want it. Oh, bless.
You've made me laugh a lot. No good for me, just a bit laughter.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because this lady was saying, you know, at my age, saying I've got a boyfriend sounds like something that a teenager would say, and it doesn't feel like it's.
You know what though,
right.
maybe it puts a spring in her step like she's a
Yeah.
teenager again.
I think half of it is us worrying about what other people will think again, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just like,
Yeah.
who cares? If you want to call him a boyfriend, call him your boyfriend. Now, I like to snip the corners off. Obviously, I take the care that I don't snip through my stitching, but it just reduces the bulk slightly and makes some nice crisp corners.
Jen had a proper win because I found those scissors. And
They're
I think we
gorgeous.
reduced the stock because we couldn't find them, or I bought extra because we couldn't find them. And now they're mine. And
Now
how
they're
good-
yours. They're beautiful because they're lovely and sharp right to the end.
Yeah, how good is that silicone standy uppy thing?
Oh, I love it.
Can you show everybody? Because I don't think, I'm not sure that
Look
you
at that.
appreciate just how good it is.
Just holds everything.
It's got all the stuff.
All the things in it. And it doesn't matter how wide the base is because it'll fit in. Because
I've
it's
even
silicone, it
got-
squishes.
I've even got my radish head
Screwdrivers in
Yeah.
there.
that I've come back in from fixing the guinea pig hut.
But everything, your pens fit in. It doesn't matter what size pen it is, whether it's a pen or a pencil.
It's all good.
It'll all fit in. It's
Good
beautiful.
Yeah.
It's lovely. I love that
No.
colour. Are they all that colour or is it coloured? Depends.
Yes,
But colour may
because
vary.
It's my favourite colour.
Well, we know this.
and it's Natasha Makes
It's
colours.
Natasha Makes colours.
And because we've also got the macaroons. Oh, Jane, we've never shown people the macaroons.
Are there any here? No.
Have I said that? Because Jem always changes my pronunciation. Macaron.
It's a macaron
Or
'cause it's
something.
French.
Yeah.
And then I got confused and said, "Is it not Macron?" And they were like, "No, that's the president."
Which, given that you used to bake for a living,
I know.
we were like, hang on.
We called them macaroons when I was at college.
I think I might have called them macarenas. Jem was like, no, they're definitely not that.
They're definitely not macaronas.
I'll go and get one then. Whilst you do that, I'll go and get one. Cause they're
Yeah,
really
and I
good.
can show you another way of. I haven't caught that quite in the seam properly, but we can go back over that. And that, as they say, is your cushion cover. We'll give it a press, but I will go back over because I haven't quite caught that one in. But how lovely is that? That is such a lovely, simple cushion cover to make. You can be even simpler than that.
Simpler.
Simpler. Look, you can do it that way.
Oh, that's very beautiful. I bet that's what Auntie Lizzie saw on a dress,
Yeah.
on a collar. That's
Because-
very gorgeous.
You've got your prairie points there. You line them up with the edge of your seam and you tuck the next one under. Now you can tuck it under as much or as little as you want.
Is that just be consistent?
Yeah, just make sure. I mean, you get to the point where you'll measure. You'll get to how close you want it. I mean, you could go even closer if you wanted to. Measure the distance underneath, and then just make sure you put the next one in at the same, so they're equidistant. You could put two in like that. Leave a space. Put the next two in. It gives you another effect. And as I say, people put them on the edge of their quilts, so it looks like that around the edge of the quilt.
Oh, gorgeous.
So they're lovely. They're a lovely way to add texture. You can double them up, so you can put one in like that, and then you can put the next one in close, so that when they go in, you've got them. You can put smaller ones in, so they go like that, or you can put the other one in, and it sits underneath like that. So you can have really good fun with them. They're lovely.
Gemma has been obviously Googling frantically this morning. When you were doing the colour thing, she said the word tertiary, because we had the tertiary colours,
Yeah.
comes from the Latin tertiaris, meaning of the third rank or third in order. This describes their position in the colour hierarchy after the primary and secondary colours. But that's not what she's most recently Googled. She's recently Googled macaroons. Macaron, a luscious confection, and his ugly little cousin. And the macaroon, is that, you know, the ones with the horrible coconut?
Well, I like those ones, and they're our version. It's just
Soft
coconut, egg white,
egg white,
and sugar.
shredded dried coconut.
Yeah.
No,
I love them.
Really?
I love them.
Are
yeah.
we friends? Actually, no, that's fine, because you'd eat those and I'd eat something nice. That's fine. Right, so show us this.
This beautiful needle keep.
There we go. Well, it's more than a needle keep.
It is, because it's magnetic and holds your needle. So it's not going to go anywhere.
But more than that.
But it's got a sharpener in it. You can put them in there, down the side. Look a close up.
Yes.
Can you see? You stick it in the side there, and it's got it's like a sponge, but it's like an emery in there that will just sharpen your needle, prevent it getting burrs, because there's nothing worse when you're hand stitching and you get a bit of a burr on your needle. It'll keep them nice, but it
How
also
brilliant is that?
keeps them nice and safe, so they don't fall down the side of the needle or on the carpet and then into your foot.
Friday deals, Jane, are where we find such goodies and little bits and bobs and knick-knackery. That's always in your Friday deals. That's where you'll find.
These are just lovely little gifts. If you've got, I mean, I know, is it too early to talk about Christmas? I don't know.
No.
But these would be great Secret Santa gifts for when you go to your Quilters Guild or you've got a sewing friend. They're just nice things. They look nice as well,
Yes.
isn't it? It's something that's a bit unusual and looks lovely.
And
It's
you
a
can
nice
easily
gift.
make a little pouch to put it in.
Yes.
That's the thing.
You
isn't
could
it?
do all sorts of things with it.
Perfect. Jane, thank you so much.
You're
I feel
welcome.
like I've learnt a lot today, and I feel like I've now got to go and edit
Get
this.
one of these.
Yeah.
Get one of these. They will,
Change
you
your
know,
life.
it's one of those, it's a bit like having your interfacings, isn't it?
Yes.
It's one of those things that you'll always use.
Yes. 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 And if you've ever uttered the words ever, I'm not good with colour.
Yeah.
Well, then get one of those. You've got no excuse.
No, and there's no such thing as not being good with colour. If you like it together, if you like those colours together, they're fine.
Unless, of course, like you're really colourblind, in which case get a friend to help you get dressed.
Just wear black.
Yeah, there you go. With a little pop of any colour.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong. Thank you, everybody, for watching today. Tomorrow, I'm going to start getting on my pattern writing because obviously it's
All
now
your notes
washed
have
and
gone.
smudged in my washing machine. Amazing. Go me. But we're going to make my aim.
Yes.
I have an aim, Jane.
Yes.
I have an aim, and my aim is to make like a triple compartment walking bag.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Oh, we will see. Out of wax, so it can be waterproof on the outside, beautiful on the inside.
Lovely. Or we just might have a few beautiful fabrics at the moment that we can go in with. At the moment, we always have beautiful fabrics.
I know. But the go with, because I don't know if you've noticed, we have changed the colours that we buy in. They're not our normal colours, Jane, because we've bought them to go with the wax.
Yes,
And I am loving them.
they are beautiful. They are gorgeous.
So if they are your sort of colours too,
If you love colour, you'll love them.
oh,
Just
it's
nice.
a joy. So join us tomorrow, where I may or may not have sorted that out and made something.
Lovely.
But otherwise, enjoy today your free postage on orders over £30.
Fabulous.
And you're 3 for 2 on
Patterns?
patterns. Now, you see, if you're someone, Jane, how often do we get... Actually, it doesn't happen very often. the odd person will say, I'm not spending that postage on one pattern.
Yes.
Your postage is outrageous, and we go, that's why we have digital downloads, love.
Yeah.
So that you don't spend
You don't have to spend
nearly
that
as much on patterns.
Yeah.
Firstly, our patterns are incredibly reasonably priced.
Yes, crazy price.
Actually, given the amount of time, effort, and everything else, the man hours that go into making our patterns,
Yes.
actually, they should be a lot more. I remember someone once saying to me, but it's just a piece of paper. I'm like, no, a piece of paper is blank.
Yes. They don't just appear, do they?
No,
They take
no,
a lot of thought goes into them.
And often a lot of fabric where it goes wrong, Jane.
Yes.
Hours, love, thought, photos, editing, everything else.
Yeah.
So, given that our patterns are incredibly reasonably priced, really reasonably priced, so actually, with our postage, often costs less than other people's normal price patterns.
Yeah.
But if you are one of those people that really gets upset with paying any postage for patterns, just pop enough in to take you over the 30 quid,
Yeah.
and then you're not going to pay for your postage anyway.
Amazing. Like that. That's
Works,
a good
isn't it?
idea. Yes.
Or just buy digital. All of these things, but also, Jane, that 3 for 2 is also valid on the Mylar templates.
Oh.
The patterns with the Mylar templates
Templates.
for the cork.
Oh, that's good, a bargain.
Yeah, which given that our Cork Makes subscription goes live this week,
There's an investment.
yeah, when you've got a template, a Mylar template, you've got it, haven't you? You don't
Yes,
have to do
there
it again.
forever.
Ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
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 You're going to re-say that, aren't you, Jane?
Yeah, I'm
Because
going to
you're
have to
used it, yeah.
because it's just...
It's going to drive you mad. Right, everybody, we will stop driving each other mad, and we will see you tomorrow. Take care. Thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely rest of the day, and we will see you later. Take care. Lots of love. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.